Hi everyone, it's Sloan Rhodes. I wanted to offer everyone a quick reading for the weekend, just because I know we're gearing up for the holidays. So today I'm going to be drawing a card from the Vintage Wisdom Oracle deck by Victoria Mosley. Just one card for all signs. Quick check-in for what we can look forward to or expect over the weekend of December 6th through the 8th. Or whenever you happen to be watching or listening to this reading, remember that it's always the perfect time for you, no matter what the date is, if it resonates with you. And all of my YouTube videos are available in audio format on the podcast, and there are links below if you just want to listen to it while you're driving or whatever. Okay, let's go ahead and get a card. That's the guidance for the weekend, December 6th through the 8th. Okay, here we go. Power. Wow. And truth under the deck. Power and truth. That's a lot going on right there. Okay, well, of course there's power in truth. There's power when you speak your truth. There's power in what feels open, honest, truthful, naturally. But what first came up for me when I drew this card was power struggles. And remember that if you feel as though you are engaged in a power struggle, or you feel that someone is trying to be more powerful than you, or you are trying to overpower another, that's always the ego. Always. And you can even remind yourself like that of that. I'm feeling this clash of wills. I'm feeling this need to be powerful over another. I'm feeling a need to assert my power. I'm feeling as though someone's trying to control me or be powerful over me. That is primarily my mind. That is entirely the ego. Because the ego is what keeps you on edge, wanting to fight back, wanting to assert your truth, wanting to prove that you are as powerful as another. Of course, we all do it because we all have egos, we're all human, but the trick to feeling more peaceful and serene is to transcend that egoic impulse to meet that kind of energy when it's feeling as though it's coming towards you, or to transcend the desire to overcome another or overpower another. So there's that, because the ego is what feels the need to assert itself. It's afraid at its deepest level of being vulnerable, because our ego, the inner child within, perceives that as a threat. That if it doesn't fight for its survival, for its existence, then it will be overcome. It will be rendered useless or meaningless. That's at its core. Now, you may not always be conscious of that, of course. Someone comes at you, trying to overpower you, of course, and I don't mean physically. I'm talking, more energetically. It takes a lot of consciousness to not meet that energy with like energy. So even if that occurs, and you find that you have engaged in a power struggle this weekend, or even in the recent past, you can always begin to disengage from that energy by reminding yourself that you're safe, that you love you, that you're keeping yourself safe and secure, and your sense of self is always within, always held by you. No one else can ever give or take that away from you, give that to you or take it away from you. So you can remind yourself of that when you're in a more sort of peaceful place. And that way you can begin to disengage from power struggles or issues around who's got what, Now, that's one way it can come in. Another way, of course, is to stand up, to know that you are safe. It's safe for you to be the powerful person that you are. It's safe for you to exhibit and display all of your gifts. Now, it doesn't always feel safe. You may not always feel safe because of, family conditioning, societal conditioning, whatever. And of course, you have to navigate this yourself. But at your core, you are safe. It is safe for you to be powerful. You are not helping anyone when you play small. Never. It feels safer to the ego, to the inner child, but you are not holding a sense of connection to power. And there's nothing more powerful than the all it is. Power is not about flexing. Power is about truth. Right? The truth of who you are, whose you are. The all-seeing I, right? The universal oneness. So be patient with yourself. Recognize the ego's need to flex, to display, in order to prove a sense of self-worth, or in order to prove your value, or to prove that you're powerful. It's okay. But when you catch yourself doing that, maybe in the moment or after, you can say, oh yes, I see. My inner child, my ego, felt the need to display his or herself. I'm going to use those two pronouns right now. Not meant to exclude anybody, of course. My inner child was feeling a need for validation, to feel powerful. It's very animalistic. We see the two animals here. But you're safe. You're always safe to be who you want to be in that moment, who you think you are in that moment. And it may be that there is someone who is holding the frequency of the divine masculine energy. It's archetypal energy. Could actually be somebody who is in male form, who may be trying to assert power over you, or with whom you have some sort of power struggle. But you can diffuse that with your softness, with your powerful insight, with your connection to all. So yes, I see that person trying to assert themselves, and I recognize within me the same needs and desires of my own ego, my own inner child. How wonderful that I have that insight. And you don't have to engage in it, because when you don't meet that energy with the power, you don't get the explosions, right? You just get the recognition. And then the other person can begin to diffuse their own egoic power needs sometimes. Not always, of course, but it's not your job. That's their job. You are powerful in your own right, in your existence. Something to think about for the weekend. It's kind of an interesting energy. For some of you, there may be power outages, issues around power. Make sure all your devices are charged, your batteries charged in your car, this kind of thing. Maybe some electrical issues this weekend as well. I just want to give a nod to that. True power comes from the divine. There's nothing more powerful than your connection to spirit. It would be impossible for anything to ever be more powerful than that. But we forget that often, especially in interactions with others, especially when others are seemingly trying to hold us down or overpower us. It's so easy. How quickly we get involved in that. How quickly the ego pops up to say, you can't. You're not the boss of me, right? Very childlike energy. Okay, so I hope that you find that helpful. I hope you have a wonderful, powerful weekend. And the truth, this is an underlying energy. It's not just about the all-seeing eye of spirit, but also recognize where you can hold that energy of taking the step back and seeing everything from a less triggered perspective. That way you can have experiences where you feel more peaceful and powerful, but not from the triumph over someone, but from the acknowledgement of the connection to all. So, all right, I hope you find that helpful, and you have a wonderful weekend, and I will see you next time.